there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tami White from stampwithtami.com, and welcome to our Friday online class. Today we're going to be playing with the Stampin' Up! Waterfront stamp set, which is amazing! Amazing! We're going to be making some wow cards today. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous set. I'm excited to play with it, excited to share it with you guys. I have all kinds of news, and it's the beginning of March. There's lots of things to share with you guys, and I have a new prize patrol that I'm gonna kind of roll out today, a little beta version. If you jump on board early and leave a comment in the first the first 10 minutes of this broadcast, I'm going to be drawing a special early bird prize patrol just for you early birds. And if you leave a comment early, you're automatically entered into all of the drawings, the drawing at the end, the afterlife drawing, but you have a chance to win something very cool, which I'm going to tell you about in just a minute. So while you guys are popping on board, welcome everybody. It's so great to see you guys. I'm going to start by telling you what is happening. It's March 1st, so there's some new specials happening on my blog with me and Stampin' Up. It is the last month of celebration. So let's get started with some really exciting stuff. The final segment, I had run a few flash sales for my $2 million celebration when I hit the $2 million in career sales with Stampin' Up, which has been amazing. It's just, I'm still on cloud nine from this. It's just such an awesome experience. And I promised you one more little flash sale, and here it is. It's one of your favorites. This is the double frequent buyer point special now through March 15th. So March 1st through the 15th, every time you place an order in my online store for $25, you get a frequent buyer point. So now through March 15th, you'll actually get 2, and you can redeem those points for free stamp sets from me, as a gift from me. And you can also redeem them for hostess stamp sets, which are very hard to get. You can only get those with Stampin' Rewards or with my frequent buyer point program. I have all the information on this and all the specials I'm going to tell you about on my blog. Simply click on the resource page link in this video's description. Also, on the 1st and 16th of every month, I release new ordering tutorial gifts. They are card tutorials, complete how-to instructions on how to make a set of cards from one stamp set to keep you inspired, and a new hostess code. You need to use the hostess code in order to get my tutorials and my frequent buyer points. So the hostess codes are released on the 1st and the 16th of every month. And this is the beginning of the month, so I have a new code here, and you can combine all of these specials: double frequent buyer points, celebration, the paper pumpkin specials, and the free tutorials. So again, all that information's on my blog. And celebration, this is the very last month of it. So just a heads up. If you haven't gotten everything that you really want out of celebration, you need to get it now because it's going away. Celebration will run through March 31st. Everything in this awesome catalog you can get free with a qualifying order. So there's level 1s and level 2s. Most are level 1s. If you place a $50 order, you get a free celebration product stamp set, or there's some other cool things in there. There's a couple items that are bonus items that if you place a $100 order, they're called a level 2. You can get a level 2. So that's new this year, the level 2. You can also get 2 free stamp sets when you join Stampin' Up. It's the best deal. Purchasing the Demonstrator kit was the best deal before this, but now you get 2 bonus stamp sets. It's a great time to join, and you get to have some fun. You don't have to do any selling. You don't have to do any business. You can totally do it for the discount. It's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. And the last is with Stampin' Rewards, which is if you have any orders over $150, whether it's a workshop, whether it's your own personal order, or whether it's combined, you get Stampin' Rewards with orders over $150. If your order reaches $250, you get a bonus $25 free during celebration. So again, that all ends on the 31st. So good, good stuff is coming. All right. So, last but not least is the Paper Pumpkin special. March is Paper Pumpkin's 5th anniversary. Can you believe it? 5 years of these awesome paper crafting kits in a box. Paper Pumpkin is it comes out every month. You can do a subscription or you can do a prepaid purchase on it. There's some bonuses when you do a prepaid purchase during celebration. If you do the 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month, you get celebration products, which is awesome. And you can do this even if you are already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Which means if you're already a subscriber and you already get it every month, and you go to my online store and you purchase a 3-month subscription right now, you'll get a free celebration set, and your next 3 months are covered. why not do it? You get a bonus stamp set and you get double frequent buyer points. Make sure you use that hostess code. So then you'll also get free stamp sets for me. It's a win-win. It's like triple dipping, right? You can't lose. During the March 5-year anniversary special, if you make sure that you purchase before March 10th, you're going to get a free gift from Stampin' Up! In that Paper Pumpkin kit. So there's two kind of special things happening with Paper Pumpkin. So those are the specials that are happening right now. Let me tell you about our giveaways today. With every online class, I always have some special giveaways. I have a live prize patrol and I have an afterlife prize patrol. So I cover all of you guys. So this is for both those of you who are watching the live Facebook Live video right now and you're leaving a comment. You are automatically entered. And this is what I'm going to be giving away. This is the Snowflake Sentiments bundle. This was actually an unclaimed prize. So if you're a winner, make sure you fill out the prize claim form so you get your prize. This was back from the winter time. I'm going to give away this bundle. I'm giving away the Fruit Basket stamp set and the Lots of Lavender Celebration stamp set. And with all of those, you're going to get a bonus Tutti Frutti sequence. So that's just a little bonus from me. So leave a comment. You'll automatically be entered to win those and this. These I'll be drawing live at the end of this episode. The after live is if you didn't win a live or you weren't able to watch the live. This is going to be the Epic Celebration stamp sets. I'm going to draw it on March 16th. If you leave a comment, you're automatically entered for everything. Even if you're not watching live, you can still win. But if you share the broadcast and type the word shared into the comments, you will be entered a second time into my afterlife drawing. So that's a little bonus, just sharing the love. When you share the love, I share the love back because I love you guys. Now, those are my 2 prize patrols, but today I am running a beta for a 3rd prize patrol, and this is going to be called my Early Bird Prize Patrol, and it is for the much coveted pop-up trash bin. Everybody wants these. So if you are watching on Facebook Live, and it has that little red box on the top and it says you're live, and you're in the first 10 minutes of this broadcast, it started at noon. I almost always start at noon unless there's an issue and I have to change the time. Noon on Tuesdays and Fridays is generally my time here, and it's always posted ahead of time, and there's always reminders. So you know when I'm starting. If you get on here in the first 10 minutes and leave a comment, you will automatically be entered into all this, and you will be entered into my early bird drawing. So I'm going to do that at the 10-minute mark, which is in 2 minutes. So that is my early bird special. I'm excited about this early bird special. I think this is going to be really fun. So be sure to leave a comment, pop on there now and share it with your friends. I'm going to draw this one in a couple of minutes and then we're going to get started. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Waterfront stamp set. This is an awesome stamp set. It came out in the Occasions catalog. It's like a builder set. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Linda and I featured it on Tuesday on the Stamp and Scoop, and we both admitted to the same thing. We were so intimidated by this stamp set the first time we saw it in the catalog. I bought it. I had all these great intentions of using it, but I was afraid. And finally, I did a poll a couple of weeks ago here on my Facebook page. A lot of you entered, and everybody said, oh my God, I love that Waterfront stamp set. And I said, wow, I need to use that stamp set. Everybody's loving it. And so I broke it out. I started stamping with it, and I am so addicted to this stamp set. I love it so much. So our class today, we're going to be making 2 wow cards, and they're very easy to make. So it's a great set to play with. Because it's easy to play with, and it makes so many different styles. There's so many different things that you can do with this set. So I think you're really going to enjoy this. We're going to make both of these wow cards today. The Waterfront stamp set is one of the $1 million stamp sets. If you're not familiar with that, is whenever somebody reaches a $1 million in career sales milestone with Stampin' Up, and there's only been about 23, I think, or 24 people who have done that, you get to design a stamp set, your very own stamp set. And this picture that I'm showing you right now is with Connie. Connie's a good friend of mine, and she's an awesome person. She was the 5th person in Stampin' Up ever, for the 5th person to hit the $1 million milestone. In fact, this picture was taken in 2004 when there was only 5 of us. So in the past 5 years, there's been almost 20 more. But right there in the end, you'll see $1 million Mary Polson. She was the very first person ever to sell $1 million in personal career sales with the company. And right next to her is Lisa Fast, and then Joyce Farraco was 3rd. I was 4th, and Connie was 5th. So this stamp set was her stamp set. that she designed for her $1 million sales. And if you're wondering what mine is, it hasn't been released yet. I got to name a set a while back called White Christmas, which was in a holiday catalog a couple of years ago and then carried over. And I still love it. I love that little polar bear in that set. It is awesome. But you can stay tuned. Probably in the next year, you'll be seeing something from me. And that'll be for $1 million. It'll actually be coming out after my $2 million after my $2 million sales, but it will be for the $1 million. So, all that said, I think we're at the 10-minute mark and we're ready to do our very first ever early bird drawing. I'm excited about this. Let's pop on over to our drawing screen and we are going to, hold on, let me just refresh this so that I get a full thing here. I'm excited. So I'm giving away the pop-up scrap bin for, if you've left a comment so far in the first 10 minutes, you're automatically entered to win this. So this is cool. Wow, and there's already over 300 of you. I love you guys. I love you guys. So this is going to be fun. This is a beta test. We'll see how it goes, but I might incorporate this from now on. Okay, so the winner of the early bird drawing for the pop-up scrap bin is Veronica Cordry. Congratulations, Veronica. Be sure to fill out the prize claim form. I have more drawings at the end of this episode, so be sure to leave a comment. Even if you didn't win that, you still have a chance to win. So all that is what's happening in Stampin'. So now you're in the know of what's happening in Stampin' World. If you're popping in late, be sure to catch the replay of the early part of this so you can catch all of that. I'm moving these are all the live prizes right here. I'm moving them out of the way so we can do some stamping. And the after live will be on March 16th, and it's for the Epic Celebration stamp set. All right. So, oh good, I'm glad you guys liked that early bird drawing. I was thinking of that earlier. I'm like, oh, this will be so much fun. Okay, so this is what we're going to be making today. These are the cards, and if you're not familiar with my online classes or you just forgot about this feature, I have a free PDF for you. It is on my blog. It has everything that we're using today, including the measurements on the card that I'm making. It's a great companion to have. It has both of the cards that we're making here, the supply lists. All of the supplies are available in my online store, and you can get all of the specials that I mentioned earlier. And there's also, if you have a smartphone, you can zap this code, or you can, if you don't have a smartphone or you don't know how to use that code, you can type in this URL and get to my resource page. My resource page has this free PDF, which is also in the video's description. But it also has a replay of this video. Actually, the live is actually, I think, broadcasting there now. So it is a great companion to have, because if you don't have the Waterfront stamp set, or you're not able to follow along now but want to follow along later and don't know how to get back to this video, all you have to do is type in that. So be sure to save these. They're great for multiple reasons, but that's what I do them to make things. I love to make things easy, because I know myself, we all have a lot of things going on. You're not going to remember how to get back to this, that, or whatever, and just make it easy for yourself. Start a binder, keep these free PDFs that I make them for you to make your life easy. I call it the easy button. Okay, so the Waterfront stamp set, I mentioned it's like a builder set. There's a bunch of pieces that go together, and I swear this is, when I first saw it, I was so afraid of it. I saw some beautiful stuff made with it, but I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way I could do that. I need simple. I need something that I can make easy. And as soon as I started stamping, I realized that this was actually probably one of the easiest and most versatile stamp sets that I'd ever played with. And here I was all intimidated over nothing. So I'm going to show you just how easy this set is. And I'm going to show you a couple of samples here before we get started. If you missed the Stampin' Scoop show on Tuesday that Linda and I did featuring this stamp set, I created this card live on Tuesday. You'll see it in my videos here on Facebook or YouTube, but you can also find it on my blog. I linked to it in the resource page here. So you can see how to make this. That's awesome. Karen says she has a notebook filled with the PDFs. It's so great to be able to go back, because that leads you back to all the information you need on that resource page. And then Linda also made another card, which I don't have in front of me, but she made a beautiful card, another beach scene, and she showed some how to use it with actually doing some watercoloring on top of the stamp set. And then I have a couple more samples. I called this sample the cabin in the woods. Little cabin. There's a cute little scene here with the pine wood planks on the background. It's a simple design, and it's so cool. Great masculine set there for your hunter, or for your camper in the family. And Janet agrees the set is intimidating, but Janet, as soon as you start stamping, I promise you, I know because I was there. It's not as intimidating once you actually do it, because it's so much fun and it's so much easier to play with than it actually appears. Here's another one. This one is from Veronica Zales. She designed this for the blog. I actually have a series of these that I'm doing this week. Every blog post that I put out this week on the waterfront that's in the series has instructions and a supply list and measurements on it. And this one, it's actually posted before the series, but I have a link back to it so you can catch it in the series. Here's another one using the True Gentleman Suite along with the stamp set, which was a great combination here. This one uses the corduroy ribbon, which I love so much. That ribbon is just yummy. Yummy. And then it's got some of the designer paper from that suite in the background and the stitch-shaped circle. So this here is the first card that we're going to make today. I love this card. It was inspired by Michelle Zeendorf. She actually made a similar card, although I'm probably going to do it a lot different than she did. But the similar idea for her brother-in-law who was in the service. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I know so often you guys are asking for cards for troops, for military. And this is a perfect card for that. And I love the thanks on it. This entire card was made with the Waterfront stamp set. It's actually a lot easier to do than probably when you look at it. So I'm going to show you this one in just a second. But before we do that, this is the second card we're going to be making today. And we're going to be doing sponge dauber techniques on both of these cards. This one's so beautiful. This one also incorporates the High Tide stamp set and some copper, because you know I love copper. And the last one I'm going to share is... I'm going to call this distressed metal. I came across this technique by accident, and I will be doing this on Tuesday's online class. So I'll be sharing how to make this card on Tuesday, and along with a couple of others. It's a fun, easy technique. Again, it was an accident, which I love happy accidents. So this one, totally different. You can see all the different versatile looks that you can get from the stamp set, and it's a great set to work with. Okay. All right, so... I'm just going to put this stuff aside, and we are going to start. I love to call these. I love Michelle Zeendorf. She's a good friend of mine, and I love her style. She's an artist, and she makes the most beautiful cards. And sometimes, you know, if I use her as an inspiration, I like to say it's a Zeendorf knockoff. So that's what I'm going to call this, the Zeendorf knockoff. So the colors that we're going to be using on today's card are Basic Black, Real Red, Pacific Point, and you can get, the Whisper White used to come as a craft pad, but now it comes as a blank pad with an ink, with the Whisper White craft refill that you just kind of put it in there and get it on there. It's all the same. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of cover our workstation here with some grid paper, because I'm going to go off the edge with this one. Stamp it on the edge. And I've pre-cut this, but you will find these measurements on that PDF that's on my blog. I'm going to start with the stamping here, and then we'll do the background techniques. We've got a couple techniques here that I'm doing here, because maybe you didn't catch this, or maybe you did. I've got a fun little background here with these stripes. It's a quick and easy one with the impressions folder that I think you're going to like. Okay, so starting off with I'm going to make our flag first. I'm just going to open up all the ink pads and get us started. All right, so I'm going to start with the blue section of our flag sunset background here. And the pieces that I'm going to be using in this are these two. And let me show them to you on the stamp set, because I think that will help visualize it a little bit better. I think part of the reason this set is so intimidating is that when you're not really sure when you see a sample made with it which pieces they used, right? That's the part that confused me. So it's these two pieces that I'm using on the flag. For the Pacific Point, I'm actually using this straight one, and for the red sections I'm going to be using the Z-shaped. All right, so I'm going to start with the Pacific Point. And that is just the straight blobby line, which probably has a better name than that. Okay, so about a little over halfway down is where the bottom of the flag is going to go. So I'm going to stamp that, and then I'm going to do a little repetitive stamping by just tapping it without re-inking it. And let me zoom in here so you guys can see that a little bit better. Get you a little bit better angle there so you can see what's happening. I'll make sure the whole thing's in view here, but I just want you to be able to kind of see really clearly what I'm doing. So I'm going to back it up at just a hair so you can see that too. I'm just re-inking, and I'm going to start up a little bit higher, and I'm going to go a little bit more to the right and do that same repetitive stamping technique, and that's going to fill in a little bit of the white space that we've got there. And then we're just going to keep going up. And I don't really want it to be totally straight here. I'm going to angle a few. I'm layering them on top of each other. I'm getting a little halo, which is totally fine with this particular card. And I'm just filling in the spots. Now when I fill it in, I've gone a little bit more to the left here with this stripe, and when I fill that in, it's going to make it a little bit more solid to the left, which makes that shape almost unrecognizable. You'd almost can't even tell which piece it was, which is kind of cool. And next we're going to do the red section of the flag. It is a beautiful effect, Roxanne. I totally agree. It's such a neat, that repetitive stamping is just, it looks awesome. So then I'm using this as a guide for lining up the red stripes, which I'm using the Z shape for. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing. And I'm going to stamp and then do a little bit of repetitive stamping. I don't need these to line up perfectly. In fact, it might look a little better if they don't. Might be a little bit easier. But if it doesn't go all the way over to the edge, I'm going to stamp it again on the edge over there so that it does, so that it brings it over. I'll show you what I mean by that. Like on this one right here, see how it didn't quite go off the edge? I want it to go off the edge. So I'm going to stamp it again. And this next line is going to be down under the flag, so that's totally not going to go all the way over the edge. So we're going to carry that all the way over. Right? Doesn't it? Jody says it's so easy, but it looks so complicated. That is exactly what it is. It makes it look so complicated that it's intimidating to use, right? But then when you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how easy that is. You can do this. You totally can do this. And I'm just carrying that stripe over to the edge. Okay. So now we've got our flag. Our flag is lined up here. And we're all done with the red and the Pacific points. So I'll just pull those out of our view so that you can kind of get it. Just I like to be able to keep it so you can see what's happening here without getting overwhelmed with all the excess stuff. All right, so next I've got the tree image. We've got trees in both of our cards today. We'll be using trees. Okay, thank you, Terry. She says it's so easy and so striking. Agreed. It's so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to stamp these trees right here and then do that same repetitive stamping, maybe not quite as much on the trees, just maybe 2 or 3 times on them at different heights. I don't want them all to be straight across. But I want there to be a little depth to our forest going down around the edge here. And then maybe we'll just put one up a little bit higher on the end there. Now, to fill in any of this down here, so you can see a little bit of red behind the trees on the very bottom, I'm going to take a sponge dauber and dab it. This is the Archival Black ink pad here. And I'm just going to, just along the bottom edge. I don't want to go too high because I want the trees to be defined. But just along the bottom edge, we're going to run that sponge dauber so that it fills in some of that. All right. So now we've got our, isn't that beautiful? I love it. I love it. All right. Next up, we are going to take this is the Whisper White and the Thanks that came in that set. And I'm going to stamp that in the lower right-hand corner. Now, because this is a craft ink, it's thicker. the white will show up on top, but it does take a couple of seconds more to dry. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to rub the rest of it dries almost instantly, but that thanks, you don't want to rub anything over it for a couple of minutes. Okay. Teresa says, you make it look so easy. Trust me, it is as easy as it looks. It really is. There is nothing to be afraid of. And believe me, I know I was so intimidated by this set. Okay, so next up we're going to do a little bit of Big Shot work. So I'm going to pull in our Big Shot die cut machine, and I'll back you out so you guys can see what is happening here. I'm just going to use the thin die adapter that comes with the Big Shot machine. I've got 2 cutting pads, and is this a dynamic? No, this is not a dynamic folder. Okay. This is the Simple Stripes folder from Stampin' Up. So this is how we're going to create our stripes. This is kind of a little bit of an illusion. It's kind of cool. I'm going to take that Night of Navy strip. Again, those measurements are on that free PDF. I'm going to place it inside this folder. So make sure the stripes are going horizontally. Place it between 2 cutting pads. All of the, Carol's asking what the white ink is. Again, we only have 1 white ink, and it's craft ink, but all of these supplies are listed on my blog at the link in the video's description, as well as on that free PDF. If you missed anything, you can find it all very easily just by clicking on that resource page link at on the video. Okay. All right. And when we open it up, we have our stripes. And they've got a little bit of dimension there. Gives it a little bit of texture. All right, we're just going to put that aside for a second. We're going to bring it back out for the next card. But we're not done with this one yet. But wait, there's more. All right. I'm going to take that craft ink pad again. Now this pad actually comes, it's a blank pad now that comes with a white refill. That information is both in the supply list and on my blog. So you just take it and very lightly just pull it right across the top to create those stripes. Simple, right? So easy. So easy. Okay. Now I am going to, just the rest of this card is literally just assembly. So I'm going to take some snail adhesive, which is the double-sided tape, and we're going to assemble our base image pieces. So I'm just layering some black on white here for a frame. Again, measurements are on that free PDF. Okay. The Whisper White says thanks. You could make that say whatever you want it to say. Okay, so now we've got our image panel, but before we attach that to our card base, this is Night of Navy that we're using here, I'm going to put some on the back of the striped panel. And that's going to go right in the middle. So it's a little bit of an illusion that it looks like it's all one piece, one panel there, because it's the Night of Navy, but it's actually 2. Now, a little tip here, anytime you are working with a dark card base, always line it with either Whisper White or Very Vanilla, depending on what color you are working with. And that will give you a little pop, give you something to write on inside there. All right, and for our final piece of assembly on this card, take some, these are Stampin' Dimensionals, they're little foam pop dots, and just put those on there. Peel off those protective backings, and I personally liked this at an angle, but you could, if you so chose, in fact on this one I'll do it straight so you can see them both, put it straight on. Okay, here they are both right next to each other, one at a little bit of an angle and one straight on. You could go either way with that, whatever your preference is. I don't know, you can let me know which one you like better, straight, if you like the lines all straight, or if you like the angles. It's almost like a flag here, the angled part. I think maybe that's why I liked it so much. So that is our flag card. That is how quick and easy it is to make this wow card with the Waterfront stamp set. The next card I have to share with you guys in this wow set is the Amazing card. It's amazing. Yes, it is. And this one we are going to use both the Waterfront stamp set, and I'll just pull it out here, and I'm going to use it together with the High Tide stamp set. So, and the High Tide stamp set will be using these birds, we'll be using the seagulls, and we'll be using this water. Just a hint of it. I know you probably can't even tell that's in there right now, but you'll see it in just a hint of it when we get started. All right, so I'm going to bring that grid paper back in just to protect our workspace because we're going to get messy on here. And the other thing is I'm using this tree stamp again. I've stamped it in black. So before I get started, I want to do this before I forget and muck up another ink pad, which I'm famous for doing. And that is, I've got a Stampy Scrub here. This happens to be a very old one, but I have new ones in my online store that are a better design. I'm going to spray one side so it's wet and just kind of wash it. So it's one side's wet, one side's dry, and then it's clean. Mine are stained because they are very well loved, but that doesn't harm them in one way. In fact, sometimes it makes it easier to see what you're stamping. Okay, it's clean. It's ready to use in another color. So on this one, before we get started with the stamping and the sponge daubers, I am going to cut out the word amazing from the copper, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you a little tip of this on what I'm going to do here, and that is I'm going to take, this is the card pieces here. Again, the measurements are on that free PDF on my blog, but I'm going to actually cut the amazing out of the layer that we are going to layer on this card. You won't see it. You won't know that it's missing, but it saves on that copper foil cardstock. So it's a great little tip for getting the most out of your designer paper and cardstock and foil. All right, so enter the Big Shot, bringing it back in. And this time we want to add the thin die adapter on top of that platform and one cutting pad. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use the precision base plate on this one. So put that down and then we'll use one cutting pad on top. So then we're going to take, this is again that layer for the inside. And what I'm using here is the Celebrate You Thinlits, and these are available as a level 2 Celebration product. So you can get this free till the end of March with a $100 order. You can choose this whole framelit set free. Now this is one of the only Celebration products that will carry over. So if you don't get this one free, you can actually purchase it in the new annual catalog that comes out in May. May or June? Drawing a blank. Anyways, when that comes out in June, you'll be able to purchase this, or you can get it free now. We love free, so I'm all about getting it free. All right, so I got this free during Celebration. I love the die set. I love the words. Okay. So it's the words amazing. We've got celebrate and then the words you. And it also goes with the stamp set, which the stamp set will not be carrying over. The Amazing You stamp set, you can use the die cuts with the words and the stamp set, and they look awesome together. This is only a level 1, so you can get the stamp set free with a $50 order during Celebration. All right, so I'm very careful to make sure that that is in the middle of this copper foil so that it, it doesn't cut any of the edges that might show on the card because I'm using that as a layer. Okay. All right, so we're just going to roll that through the Big Shot. And yes, Teresa Hayes is saying using adhesive sheets on the back of these small cutouts is an awesome way of adhering it. I'm not doing that today, so you're gonna do it the old-fashioned way with me today. I'm using snail. I know. It's not pretty, but it is what it is. All right, so again, you're not going to see this because it's going to be layered on the card, but it's a great way of getting the most out of your paper. So I'm just taking a paper piercer here to poke this out of the die. Poke our copper out. All right, one little piece in there. There we go. Beautiful, right? It looks like a little piece of metal that we're going to be putting on there. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so now I'm just going to put that aside. We're going to start our stamping next. So I've got a piece of Whisper White. The dimensions are on the free PDF that are on my blog. And we've got a few colors that we're using on this one. I've got Soft Sky. We've got some soft suede, a couple of soft colors there. Got a little pumpkin pie, a little daffodil delight. Speaking of forgetting and mucking up an ink pad, yes, this daffodil delight was not so fortunate to meet my fortunate to know you fortune cookie stamp set. I've got tempting turquoise and old olive. So I'm going to start with the soft suede mountains. So I'm just going to pull that down here. The mountain image, it is this, and I'm going to tell you what images I'm using, pointing to them, because sometimes they're hard to see and they're hard to recognize once you start stamping them. It's this image. It's the double mountain image there. So I'm taking that with the soft suede, and I'm going to stamp it a little higher than the center on either side here. One here, and then one on the right side. Didn't love my image there, but the beautiful, I wish I had my Stamparatus handy, but that's all right. It's all good. You know what? It's not good. I didn't like that one. I take that back. It's normally all good, but except that time. All right, let's try that again. If I had my Stamparatus handy, that would, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me today? I would have been able to stamp that one again without problems. All right, so next up, I'm going to take this, stamp it off twice, so it's very, very light. Stamp it upside down to give it the reflection. Actually, I even wanted to stamp that off maybe a little bit more than that, because that still looks a little bit dark, but that's okay. We'll fix that when we do our water. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of a mountain reflection. And all I did was turn that mountain upside down. Turn that frown upside down. Okay, next up we're going to stamp our trees. And our trees are going to be done in the old olive stamp set. Again, I've just cleaned that off on the last stamp we used, but we're going to stamp them very similar to the way we stamped them on the last one. And that is, I'm going to stamp it down and then stamp twice to give a little bit of a forest depth look going here, and I'm gonna go up on the edges a little bit. I don't want them all to be the same height. I want it to look like a little bit of a forest here. So a little bit of, there we go, a little bit of repetitive stamping there to get that depth in the forest. Okay, so next up we are going to stamp our sun. Our sun is the circle image. It's right here in the stamp set. And that's going in the Daffodil Delight. But then I'm going to take a sponge dauber in the pumpkin pie before I stamp it. And we're going to ink up the edges. Okay, and then we're going to stamp that in between the two mountains. So our sun is setting. And if I want it to even be a little bit more dramatic, I can take the Daffodil Delight and the sponge dauber and just go over that a hair more to give it a little bit more of a setting sun look, more bright look. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is there. Okay, you are totally right. Sandy says you need your paper piercing mat under there, and I totally agree, Sandy. Actually, I'm going to point that out. I'm not using my paper piercing mat right now, but I should be. With this stamp set, I did find that mat helped, and I don't know where mine is, but I did find that mat helped a lot with your images. Okay, so I'm a lefty, so forgive me for turning to the left. Right now, you're all going to be lefties, even if you're not, for the next 2 minutes. I've got a sponge dauber, and I do use a different one in different colors. They come in a pack, and these are awesome for this type of sponge work. I'm just going back and forth with it to create our sun's rays. This is eventually going to be water, and I'm bringing it all the way down through the trees because you can see a reflection of the water through the trees. But as I go down, I'm making almost a little tiny bit of a cone shape here. So it's getting a little bit wider as we go down. And then we're going to take the pumpkin pie and just a hair. That might even be too much, what I did there at the top. Just a hair on that. If it's too much, go over it and blend it again with some of that Daffodil Delight. Like thought mine was. There. So just enough to give it that beautiful sun's rays look with a little touch of that golden orange in the sun. Okay, so Janet, I'm glad you're a lefty too, so I'm not making you dizzy here. No good, we got lots of lefties out there. All right, next up I'm going with the soft sky, so I switched to a soft sky dauber. Now that's going to be the soft sky. I'm going to mix colors here. I'm going to mix soft sky and tempting turquoise for our water and our sky, and this is going to blend our reflected mountain into the water. So I'm going to just rub some of this soft sky down for the water. On both sides of that sun. And then for the sky, same color. Actually, you know what? I want to make sure I go over the reflected mountain so it's reflecting in the water and not just kind of sitting on top of it. We want that reflection to be in the water. Okay, now for the sky, I'm actually going to do a little circle around that sun, like a little half circle, and go up with the sponge dauber, and I am re-inking. Janet says that's one of the many reasons she likes watching me, because I'm a lefty too. Lefties use the right side of their brain. Get it? Bump. All right, so we've got a little bit of the sky reflecting. Maybe we'll even go down a little bit more on the edges here. So we've got the sky coming down here. And then I'm going to switch to the tempting turquoise color. So I'm just dipping this in tempting turquoise, and I'm going to, oops, that was maybe a little bit too much there. I just re-inked that tempting turquoise, can you tell? So that's really going to make a more of a, I'm going to rub some of that off, actually. I want the water to be even. Maybe we're in the Caribbean mountains here. Oops, I got a little bit of that blue in my sunshine, so I'm going to blend that in. It's all good. We can blend it all in. You can't make a mistake on this. You just can't. Okay, so for the sky, because I just re-inked that tempting turquoise and it was really, really bright, I want it to be a little bit softer for the sky. But for some reason, I just loved the combination of these two colors together. The soft sky and the tempting turquoise for this particular project was just striking. All right, so I'm going to go pull it out a little bit more on these edges. There we go. Okay. Yes, Caribbean Mountain. It's in Bear Lake in Utah. Well, there we go. We're going to call it that, Carolyn. All right, so now we have the basic card that we're going to be working with. And now I'm going to bring in a couple of elements that just pull the entire card together. And these are from the High Tide stamp set. So I'm going to use the water here, and I'm going to use the seagulls. So first is the water stamp, and I'm doing that with the soft sky, but I'm going to stamp it off once on our scrap paper and then stamp it here for a subtle look of ripples in the water. But I don't want it to be too in your face. I just want it to be subtle. So that's why I'm stamping it off on the scrap paper before stamping it. So I'm going to just hold that up so you guys can see it. It gives the reflection in the water. It's so pretty. All right, and next up, we're going to take the basic black ink pad. Now, there's two ways that you can do these birds because I don't want all the birds. There's 3 birds down here that I want. There's 3 bigger birds I don't really want. You can. Actually, there's 3 ways to do this. You can cut this right here, which I do quite often with these photopolymer stamps because you can always put it back together, stamp them together or separate. You can color these 3 with a Stampin' Right marker, or you can very carefully, which is what I'm going to do today, use the archival black and just try to ink up just those 3. Let's see how I do. Okay. So I'm going to stamp 3 over here. Not bad. Not bad. And Oh, Lori, another one from New England. Yes, it is windy and wet. Actually, the wind howling has died down a little bit out here. I'm in Massachusetts. At least it must have known we were going live, so it's died down just a hair. But it was howling. I thought, oh, this is going to be fun for our live today. Okay, so that bird did not stamp awesomely. I wish I had my Stampin' Right marker handy, but I don't. So let's see if I can fix it. My fixing skills have not been awesome today, but we'll see what I can do. Again, Stamparatus. Oh, cannot wait till we get that. Oh, way better this time. There we go. Now we've got our birds. Oh, that's what I'm here to show you. I'm either here to show you what not to do or how to fix your mistakes, right? It's the real reason why you guys watch me. All right, next up we have assembly. That really is all there was to this card. It really was that easy to make, and it's so awesome. So I'm going to take the snail adhesive again. We're going to attach it to the copper panel that we cut the word amazing out of. Amazing. Just press see. You can't see it. You can't see it. You're not going to see it on the card because it's hidden. Get this out of the way so it's not distracting you. And now for the word amazing. Yes, adhesive sheets totally would have been the way to go with this, but I don't have any. I didn't do it, so we're using snail adhesive. It's probably not the ideal way to do this, but I'm going to show you my little trick. So I'm going to put a little bit of snail on here, and if you have, I call them the panty lines of adhesive. If you have any snail showing through, just take your paper piercer and poke it out, just like that. And then, oops. No mistakes, just new ways to create. Thanks, Adriana. I agree. Mistakes can be very fun. Alright, so if I've poked all of my excess adhesive out, yeah, I know. Not ideal. Not ideal. If you have adhesive sheets, those would be the way to go. And then we're going to place that down on the card. Amazing! And then I'm taking some more of these Stampin' Dimensionals on the back to pop this up on our card base. And I've just killed a sheet of Dimensionals, so I have some leftover from Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkin is good for so many reasons, and one of them is the leftover adhesives that come in the kit. Snail boogers! I love it, Janet! That's awesome! She said those little pieces of snail adhesive that show through. I call them panty lines when you're putting them on those thin strips. She calls them snail boogers. That's awesome. I might use that next time, Janet. To quote Janet. Alright, so that is going to stick right on our card base. And our card is complete. Now my second one, because I re-inked that Tempting Turquoise, is a little bit darker than my first one, but they both came out awesome. You can see how quick and easy these are to make. They really are that easy. There is no reason to be intimidated. I'm taking the fear right out of this stamp set, the Waterfront stamp set, because it is that easy to work with. I mean, it's just awesome, and everything that we make with it comes out awesome. So those are my two cards for today. This one last one, I will be doing this Distressed Metal on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. This one also uses that Waterfront stamp set, but I'll probably have a few other samples as well. And I do have a series on this stamp set on my blog. If you click on the link in this video's description for the resource page, you can access all of the series that I have so far, but I have more coming. I post a project a day on my blog every day. Every day I post stuff on my blog. So stay tuned, and you will see a lot more of these awesome cards and instructions coming on my blog this weekend. All right, it is now time for the giveaway. You guys ready? Okay, so we did an early bird giveaway. Just for those of you who popped on late, if you can get in the first 10 minutes of my Facebook Live, I'm starting a new beta program. We'll see how it goes, and it's called the early bird drawing. So Veronica Cordry won a pop-up scrap bin for being one of the first commenters on the Facebook Live today. Now, if you were not one of the first and you have left a comment, you are eligible to win one of my live drawings. And if you don't win the live drawing, you're still eligible to win the afterlife drawing. Even if you're not live, you're still eligible to win that. So the first thing I have to give away here is a bundle. This is the Snowflake Sentiment, good for next Christmas. This was actually an unclaimed prize, so be sure to fill out the prize claim form if you are a winner. And this one is going to, good luck everybody. If you've left a comment, you are automatically entered. This is Susanna Oyer Hitchcock. Congratulations, Susanna. And I have a bonus with all of my live prizes today. You're going to get a pack of sequins with your prize, so be sure to fill out that prize claim form. Next up, we have the Celebration Lots of Lavender stamp set, and that winner goes to Jeannie Wilcox Benson, and that also has some sequins that go with it. And the last live winner is the Fruit Basket stamp set, and that one and some sequins goes to Robin Papard. All right, congratulations. Be sure to fill out the prize claim form, and if you didn't win, don't cry. Don't cry, really. I have one more prize. 3 ways to win. 3 different ways to win. And this prize is the Epic Celebration stamp set. I will be drawing this drawing on March 16th, and you will find the winners listed on the winners page on my newsletter. And I do try to tag you in the comments of this if your Facebook will allow me to do that. All right, guys, I will see you back on Tuesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Should anything come up to change, I always update my Facebook events section. It's listed there, and I will always update it there as well as my Facebook page. We will see you guys then. I will look forward to this distressed metal, and have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me today.